Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here ready to bring you the action for the second matchup for tonight. I'm your host, OG Susano, joined by my co-caster, Spider Tiff, here to bring you the action for Oklahoma Christian from Oklahoma Christian University, going up against UTA Mavericks from the University of Texas at Arlington. Tiff, how you feeling about this series so far?
So far, I mean, to be fair, we had a really great matchup in match 1 of today. If you guys are just joining us, Toledo COD beat out Shrine Esports in 3-1 fashion. But moving on, we have Oklahoma Christian taking on UTA Mavericks, and I don't know what to think about this. Because when you look at these two teams head-to-head, it's going to be tough. They've already faced each other before, so it's going to get really dicey as we have one team looking for revenge and one team that's already beat them. In the form of OC Esports, they beat out UTA Mavericks in Stage 2, 3-0.
That's a crazy stat line, 3-0 indeed. And well, let's look at our head-to-head as we talk about their stats, because all these teams have been showing us that, hey, you know, sometimes the stats are a bit of a tough one to try and call back on, especially from that last series. But you know, looking at it right now, Tiff, what do we see?
We got Oklahoma Christian 15-5 for the season and UTA Mavericks 9-11 for the season. But let's look specifically. Let's talk about Stage 2. Oklahoma Christian went 9 wins, 2 losses. They're both Tier 2. UTA Mavericks went 3 wins, 7 losses. So everything right now is speaking towards Oklahoma Christian retaking this series yet again. So we're going to need to see some major changes coming out of UTA Mavericks if they want to stand a chance and keep their dreams alive.
Yep, indeed so. And well, you know, overall, from the way that I've been looking at these stats right now, I can definitely see why OC were that team to be able to take them in the 3-0. You know, the control especially is the biggest disparity for me. You know, I think that's going to be a bit of a tough one, 13-3 versus 3-11. What do you think there, Tiff?
On their first matchup on Gavutu Control, Oklahoma Christian took it 3-1, which means they were able to win the offensive rounds, the defensive rounds, and just really put it together. So they are looking really strong on control. It's going to be really hard to combat that, but looking in the map setup, they are going to be playing that Gavutu Control that they've already won on. So this is looking to be like a walk in the park and an easy access to the playoffs for Oklahoma Christian.
Indeed so. And, you know, talking about Oklahoma Christian, let's head over to our home roster for the side of Oklahoma Christian, because it's going to be a bit of an interesting one indeed. We have Bala, Dez, Wisdom, and Gus. Definitely Bala and Wisdom are players that I'm going to be watching out mostly for. Those two players have a lot of history that I've been able to see and cast over, and they are definitely players that bring a lot to the table.
Speaking of a lot to the table, let's talk about Wisdom in particular. When they first met up against the UTA Mavericks, Wisdom was able to net a 50 bomb on Berlin hardpoint. So you mentioned that you've seen a lot of action out of them. I'm looking for some action today. I want to see another 50 bomb.
I want to see another 50 bomb indeed. And well, let's see on the other side of our away roster here, because, you know, maybe we might see some the repeat of a 50 bomb against these guys, or maybe we'll see something else, because right now from the side of UTA Mavericks, we have Schlep, Prodigy, Stridents, and High Tech. What do you think, Tiff?
I'm thinking we're going to see some really strong plays out of Stridents and High Tech on Search and Destroy, and as well as Schlep and Stridents in Hardpoint. So it seems as if Stridents is going to be one of those players that I'm going to look to most to try to have that combative nature, to be able to put some pressure onto Oklahoma Christian to really keep it alive. Because guys, if you guys are just joining us, this is a round 3 match in the last chance qualifiers. Whoever loses this series is going to be done. They're out of it for the season, and whoever wins is going on to the playoffs, which is going to be no easy feat. You are going into a playoff group with the Redbirds and LA Tech, so your journey is not over here, and it's only going to be more gnarly.
Exactly. Gnarly is a great word to describe it. Let's look at our map set for tonight, because this is quite an interesting map set indeed for our, matchup here tonight against Oklahoma Christian and UTA Mavericks, because we're starting off Tuscan Hardpoint. Yes, you heard it here first, not a Bocage. But as I talk about Bocage, that's going to be our second destination for tonight. Search and Destroy on Bocage. Then we'll head over to Gavutu Control. Tiff, isn't that where that notorious, 3-1 was? So that'll be an interesting one. that'll be an interesting one indeed to see if we might see the same result or maybe a difference of learning. If we get to a map 4 and 5, they'll both be on Berlin for our hardpoint and search and destroy.
Yeah, but that hard point is where they had met as well. So let's say UTA Mavericks go strong and go the distance, make it to that map 4. Oklahoma Christian's really going to have the advantage in that control, in that Berlin hard point. They won that map 250 to 171 already. But I love that you mentioned the search and destroys as well, because when they met up on search and destroy, it went to a round 11. So while they were able to net the series 3-0 in favor of Oklahoma Christian, UTA Mavericks didn't just let them have it. It wasn't just a walk in the park. The control was the only thing that was won by a landslide. So let's say UTA Mavericks can go the distance and take this out to a map 5. There's a very good chance that they can net this win. They're just going to have to win it on the hard points and search and destroy.
Exactly so. And well, thinking about the way that we're headed tonight in terms of maps, I'm going to see a lot of ARs, for at least Tuscan and Gavatu. Bocage, I think, is where it's going to get the most mixiest in terms of that search and destroy, but, it's not a respawn. So at the end of the day, Bocage's, proximity is going to be something that as we look towards this, map set, I don't think is going to be too much when we talk about, close quarter chows, and because I think the ARs are definitely going to play it out. Because even if we go 3-1 tonight, the ARs from the side of Oklahoma Christian are definitely a lot better and, bolstering in terms of their gameplay. Because we will go to Berlin for those last two where it's AR central.
Yeah, it's going to be 100% AR essential. Especially, I love that you brought up the Bocage. Since it is on search and destroy, you're not going to be running the 3 MP40s. You might not see the Volk come out. We actually haven't seen a Volk really come out at all today, if I'm not mistaken. We've been really just seeing MP40s and automatons. That's pretty much been the history of COD since it has begun here in the Vanguard season. But you mentioned the ARs on that Bocage search and destroy that we are going to see in map number 2. We saw a lot of automaton action on the upper roof of Barn, where they were working that kind of second story slide out and the windows and just netting together all these kills that were really preventing any kind of action. So I think you're right. We're going to see a lot of ARs on this entire series. And so if your AR players are here tonight, let them show up and let them frag.
Exactly, let them frag indeed. We talked about it, how it was a bit of a weird call, as the meta changes and as we get towards, bigger and, different avenues towards that playoffs, these are the times to really pull out the back pocket strats and, do what is not necessarily, conformed as the norm. So Oklahoma Christian, I definitely seen these players through, my casting career, and these guys are those type of players. They're the type to, bring out a crazy strat, a crazy hero play to just show us, hey, we're about it. We're about that action.
Well, speaking of action, UTA Mavericks has really been fighting throughout these last chance qualifiers. They showed up in round 2, won that, and now we're in round 3. So the fact is they're trying to keep their dreams alive, and they're going to need to really rely on the action and come out hot and heavy. Because, these two were in a bracket in stage 2 with the undefeated New Mexico State in stage 2. So they've already been up against some really solid schools, and to be fair, they already met up in stage 2. They have the VODs. They could go back and watch and review what happened on that first matchup and why Oklahoma Christian won it 3-0. And how do you combat that here as we move in to the Tuscan hardpoint?
Indeed so, and we're already going to see UTA will be holding the hill for now. Wisdom, Dez, 2 players going off. Bala and Dez will be able to hop onto the site for now. Wisdom gets aggressive here. He's looking for these players within the mid, sees the opportunity, goes for it, but Dez is going to be beating him to the punch by breaking those players down from the back lane.
Yeah, and I fully expect Wisdom to just be super aggressive on this map. You see, he's the SMG player. He's going to be running around as much as possible. They've already up 20 points alone just on this hill. Sure, it's the first set of rotations, but when you've got a lot of uncontested time and the UTA Mavericks aren't even trying to push in, there's 9 seconds left. They're looking at that rotation all the way over to Column, but they're going to be met with 2 Oklahoma Christian players. Gus on a 5-kill streak. Dez and Wisdom both looking for streaks of their own. This is not what you want.
This is not, and 42-6 right now is a bit of a tough stat line to go up against, and Dez and Wisdom going crazy. Dez right now is on a 5 streak. Wisdom is currently on a 5 streak as well. These players have yet to die. Wisdom's still going big.
I fully am here for Wisdom to try and get a 50 bomb, but it might not even get that far because they're stringing these hills together like crazy. And how are you going to do that? You're spawning mid-map as a UTA Maverick. How are you going to try and combat and break this hill when these players aren't even dying? Finally, Wisdom falls, but Dez hasn't died yet. He's on 7 streak. He's fully streaked out right now, and that's going to be incredibly prevalent when most of these hills are out in the open. The rotation and scrap time is coming in, but Gus is holding it down. He's getting all of that scrap uncontested, and look who's moving over to that Fountain Plaza. You got Dez, but is he going to get flanked by Stridents? He is now. This is a time for UTA Mavericks to really make a move.
Indeed it is, and you're going to see right here, Schlepp's going to be trying to hold the back lane, but unfortunately for him, he's got 24 HP. Unfortunately, will go down to fast ball. So now Wisdom is going to be hanging on to the site by the skin of his teeth. Prodigy gets taken down, and now you have a 3-man setup. Unfortunately for UTA, there just wasn't a firm setup towards that back line. The players were able to pinch them out, and nobody was able to help him out. I don't know who it was in the back line there, but now Dez moves forward and gets aggressive, and all these players, I think, have streaks from Wisdom and Dez, but I think for sure right now, Dez does.
The fact that the streaks haven't even coming out, they don't even need them. Gus is finding a nice killing spree and is on a 5 streak as well. You just cannot combat this aggressive nature of Oklahoma Christian. This is insane. OC Esports are soaking up all the scrap time, completely uncontested. UTA Mavericks is spawning so far outside of Fountain Plaza, it's not even worth trying to go back over there for. With 5 seconds left on the hill, look who's already in the rotation. That's going to be Prodigy from UTA Mavericks trying to set up shop in the church. But you got Oklahoma Christian going for the flank, but High Tech finds a nice 2-piece in the back line. Finally, UTA Mavericks showing up.
Yeah, showing up after 3 hills is a bit of a tough one, 140-13, and you really have to give it to High Tech. He was able to give the team a breathing point. Schlepp, though, will be able to get taken down. He did show a bit of life there, and, well, here we go again. Wisdom going crazy. Strident stays alive after that massacre that was towards the back of the church. Everybody from the side of UTA are now going to try and spawn up, but they're all spread it out. That Gus and Co can really just, you know, work it from piece by piece like an onion. There's layers to it.
There's layers to it indeed, and we're gonna have to start peeling some of them back if you are UTA Mavericks and start working on how to regain these moments. Strident finds a nice 2-piece. There are gonna be able to get the scrap time, but the rotation into command center is just flying. We see UTA Mavericks trying to win some nice early contention, which they do. They cut down the Oklahoma Christian players. They haven't fallen just yet, but don't overextend and leave the hill, because look what's gonna happen. You're gonna fall, and Oklahoma Christian is gonna make a nice play to move into command center.
Exactly so, and you already see right now from the side of Oklahoma Christian, they have besieged the site. Every player from UTA is just holding an angle. They're praying here, but oh, Wisdom with a nice 2-piece with the nade. That is beautiful. Strident responds with the 2-piece of his own, and Ball is just trying to stay up here, and unfortunately for him, Strident's on the run with a 3-piece and gets even more aggressive, takes out Gus, and well, 58 to 158 is not a bad stat line to try and come back from after this money hill.
Yes, a nice money hill for UTA Mavericks as they're finally starting to claw back on that 100-plus point deficit. They've gotten the majority of time on this hill. We've got Stridents trying to live and soak up all the scrap time, but the battle is in the mid-map as he falls to Bala, and now it's going to go in favor of Oklahoma Christian getting the rest of the time. But now we need to go into the second set of rotations and look into that already. You've got Schlepp, you've got Prodigy already set up for P1 to get that early time. Can they hold off the onslaught of Oklahoma Christian?
Yeah, and you look at Wisdom right now, who's in a vital position there towards that mid. He gets the play, stops the players from spawning up to help out, and now Ball is going to pull out the AR, and, well, High Tech's going to get taken a bit of some shots in, and Wisdom, well, they hold them back for now. They're able to even get another kill onto Prodigy, who was not affected by the stun. Schlepp as well gets decimated, and it's just a shooting gallery for the Oklahoma Christian boys. They're just having fun and shooting it back.
I mean, we saw just how dominated they were on the first set of rotations throughout the first 4 hills. And when you're already this far along and you've only need 60 points to win the game, We know that UTA Mavericks need to cut it off and cut it now, because you have to play perfect COD from here on out to be able to be combative. And when you've got the majority of your points only on P5, you're not going to make it there through the set of rotations if you don't answer back. We see the rotations coming in favor of UTA Mavericks, but you've got Oklahoma Christian already there. Can you answer back when you've only got one person on the hill? Prodigy finds a nice kill, but is going to get traded out by Wisdom. This is all Oklahoma Christian all day.
Oh, yeah. 206 to 87 is a beautiful stat line for them. Wisdom 22 and 13 on a 4 streak right now. And the way that they've been playing has been dominant, but also confident. They know what they're about. I've seen so many times where they're stunned, yet they're still taking the chow. And that is amazing to see, because not only does it speak to their gun skill, it speaks to their mentalities as a player.
Exactly. And when these teams first met, Wisdom dropped a 50 bomb on Berlin Hardpoint. The score was 250 to 171. UTA Mavericks aren't even at half of the previous score that they had gotten the first time they met up against Oklahoma Christian. We're about to be in win condition. They can't win here, so they're going to need the rotation. But look who's got it. UTA Mavericks is already there, but getting cut down in the form of Dez. So what can they do? Because reinforcements are all the way across the map, and they don't even have it. Streaks come out in the form of Wisdom. Going to go ahead and clear it off, but they're not going to be there. Prodigy finds a nice 2-piece. Stridens answers back. Now reinforcements are here. This is where the last stand begins, Susano.
Indeed, the last stand will be a bit of a fight for that back hill. You're going to see Wisdom immediately go for the back line. Schlepp's going to get taken out here pretty soon. And, well, there you go. Dez throws the glide bomb onto Stridens. That clears the top angle. Now all these players can hold it down. A 10 points till that win. And, well, UTA, they're not going to be able to come back here. This is a monumental effort. A literal 140 points that they need to come back from.
I mean, they've got spawns. They're trying to make it work. 18 seconds remaining here on this hill. They need to hold every bit of this time, and they are doing a great job of reinforcing this, but it's not going to be enough because the kill feed is currently bleeding red. They just need 1 point, and that's going to be all they wrote for UTA Mavericks here on this hard point. That was a dominating run by Oklahoma Christian, taking that 250 to 114. I don't even know what to say, Susano.
I am baffled as well, because this is possibly the most kill-driven map or match of Tuscan that I've ever seen. It wasn't even the fact that Oklahoma Christian were setting up for spawns. The moment that they got in and were ready to go, they were just on a roll. And when you see them on a roll like that, it feels like a boulder going, the speed of light down a hill and just barreling through everybody. And you look at the stats right now, you got to give a big shout out to Wisdom. 27 at 16 with 18 non-traded kills and even 32 seconds on the hill. So he's going in and he's contesting as well.
I'm sorry, but when you've got Dez on Oklahoma Christian, 23 and 13, over 2 minutes of objective time, 21 of his 23 kills were non-traded. That alone speaks monuments. That's insane stats. This team was just incredibly aggressive. And if you're UTA Mavericks, you've already lost to this team 3-0. You've already been dominated by them. And Oklahoma Christian comes out with such confidence in map 1. You've got to be thinking, how do we combat this aggressive nature? But we're going to go into search and destroy after this, where that change of pace is going to happen. So this is your moment. Take what you just learned and try to finesse something to where we saw search and destroy was what they had before around 11. So we could see the tides really change here.
The tide could change indeed, but from the way that I saw Oklahoma Christian playing that, and like I told you, Tiff, I've seen these players, Gus, Dez and Wisdom play throughout their years. I have especially remembered, casting over them for one of my first casts for Cold War. And these guys, they're different. They're different. If they're not sliding down, Garrison Green, then they're definitely coming up to you P5 here on Tuscan and just getting in your face and singeing your eyebrows, because the way that the proximity, out of every fight, there was, I would say, maybe a handful, if you will, of fights that were taken out of long range. It was up in their face. The action was there, and the subs were going crazy on the side of Oklahoma Christian.
Well, if they're going crazy and they're that aggressive, we could see something monumental here in Bocage Search and Destroy, especially if your subs are prevalent. But since this is Search and Destroy, we did chat about this. Those ARs are going to have to remain really critical and focused, especially on those lines of sight. So this is Bocage. Usually you see Bocage in Hardpoint. We saw it in our first matchup of the day. It was map number 1. It was Hardpoint. But now the pace is changing, and I'm really excited to see just how UTA Mavericks are going to answer back.
Yeah, UTA Mavericks are going to need to respond back here, but like you just said about that pace change, this is a good moment for them. They just lost 114 to 250. You know, this is time to regain, sit back, recollect. I've been in these positions before, coming from a player background. You know, you look at each other across the aisles if you're at a setup with each other at a facility, or if not, you know, within the call, you look at each other, you say, "Dang, we just got mollywopped. Look, let's bring it back, everybody." Recollect, rethink, and let's talk about this S&D. We put that in the past. We don't want to think about it, because if not, it's just a detriment to the mental.
And I love that you bring that up. It's always about the mental, right? Because it's always, how do you regain from that moment? How do you take a loss, manufacture that into something that you can use as fuel, and not as something that you're like, oh, you know, we just lost really bad. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to play Search and Destroy against this team that's already beaten us. But no, don't think like that. You took it to a round in 11 the first time you met this team. Turn it around. You can easily take that and make a dub. And if you tie up the series now, I think this is where you can really start to begin that dominating force. You only need to win 3 maps. So I'm going to call it right now. If UTA Mavericks takes this Search and Destroy here, I believe they'll win the second Search and Destroy. And I think they can come back strong in that second hard point that we'll see. And then it's all over from there.
Yeah, it'll really be all over indeed. But, you know, I gotta call upon the leadership of Fast Balla. The leadership that he brings to that team is absolutely insane in the Search and Destroy. Yeah, UTA Mavericks are, you know, the young guns and the guns that are, you know, much more appreciated as the underdogs in this narrative. But when you have your leadership like Fast Balla and you have a Slayer like Wisdom, you know, I call it the refined sword with a master. You can definitely wield that guy around, throw him where you need to throw him in terms of, you know, getting the sub work done. And it's just insane, because we saw exactly how they played in that map 1. And, you know, you talked about Wisdom and how he got that 50 points or 50 kills. I'm a little worried. I feel like if UTA do not learn how to ISO players, then this could be either a dominant 6-0 or maybe a 6-2 for the side of Oklahoma to win.
I mean, Oklahoma Christian is definitely feeling themselves right now, but we saw a lot of similarities during our first matchup of the day with Trine Esports. They were able to answer back, and when they couldn't win the slayings, they just played a little bit slower and played for picks. And I would like to see UTA Mavericks try to do that here, because you're going to have to slow down the pace astronomically to combat that aggression. Or who knows, maybe the aggression is going to really not pay off for Oklahoma Christian here, because if you overextend yourself when you don't need to be in Search and Destroy, that can be your catalyst. So I'm excited to see kind of how they're going to work. UTA Mavericks is going to start off on the offensive here, and they are going straight to that mid-map. This is my favorite thing to see, but Schlep gonna go ahead and get a nice 2-piece to open it up. This is what I'm saying. UTA Mavericks made a run for it in Search and Destroy. This is insane. Whoa. They just came out. We talk about the aggression in Oklahoma Christian, but UTA Mavericks said, I know how to answer back, and this is exactly how I'm gonna do it.
That was honestly kind of insane. That was a great first round for them to really set that precedent that, like you said, hey, we took them to that round 11 last time. This is our opportunity to really flip the script, and it really was a great setup there. They got each player on Oklahoma Christian off-angled, and, you know, that last kill was a bit of a tough one. You know, you run out of the tunnel, you do not check your corners, and it's a bit of a tough one because you will lose your life to usually a player hanging out within that wheel.
Look, if you're not going to check your corners, you're going to get punished one way or another. We got Dez on the automaton, Wisdom on the AR as well. They're attacking. We're seeing a different push out of them. By this time, UTA Mavericks had already moved up into Grandma's house looking for some information, but now they're playing just a little bit slower, listening for those auto cues. But look at that defensive lineup from UTA Mavericks. They are not budging. His bomb is beginning to go down at A. Schlep finds first kill again.
Schlep finds that kill onto Bala as he unfortunately gets his UI just maxed out, and Prodigy just slides in, takes out Dez. That is insane. And, well, Strident's is going to try and slide onto the bomb there, and, well, it looks as though he's going to try and stick it, and Wisdom's not going to be able to get that call, so there's a free defuse for UTA.
Yeah, and I've got Prodigy. You know, he was one of the notes that I had written before when I was looking at this map. 1.67 KD at about mid-season stats. Let's look at this final kill from Schlep. I wasn't expecting a 4-0 start from Schlep, though. I would have called it out of Prodigy, but Schlep is really standing up for UTA Mavericks right now. I almost feel bad for saying that they needed to kind of wake up during that hard point, because they are awake and they haven't even died. None of their players have lost a life yet.
They have not. No, this is actually insane to think about. You know, Schlep's on a 4 streak right now, and he can qualify himself for streaks here pretty soon. Wisdom will finally open up with a kill onto Prodigy. Schlep's still trying to stay up here. Strikes picks out Bala, and now we're at a 3-3 as we head towards a possible A plan.
Hey, possible A plan indeed. High Tech picking off Wisdom right there. What are you gonna do if you are Oklahoma Christian? UTA Mavericks is 2-0. Now, granted, it's not gonna get too crazy until it's a 4-0. Then I'm really gonna start worrying about you. But Stridents really overextending with the bomb is gonna get found out from Gus. That's gonna be all they wrote for Oklahoma. They're finally on the board.
Yeah, and that was a great round indeed. They played their game. You know, the last 2 rounds, they were playing a lot of breakneck speeds. And, you know, it's like what we talked about before, Tiff. The pace of the game changes. It really does. And so you cannot play like if it's a hard point. So that aggression was met with calm, precise, methodical placements from the side of UTA. And now Oklahoma Christian, they realize that, make the adjustment, and finally get a round back.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. Once you start stringing these maps together, it's really going to be preferential. We talk about this spot with the AR. Gus is going to take it. Shots are going to go out, not going to necessarily connect. Going to get tagged up and traded out by Schlep. Wow. This is, you know what? I just think Schlep is going to get all the first bloods. All of them. Then he finds another one. That's another 2-piece for him. That's putting Oklahoma Christian in a really non-preferential thing, but they're going to tie it up 2-2.
Yeah, they tie it up, and Schlep's going to go for an aggressive position here, but unfortunately he tries to chow with the pistol, gets taken out. Now Stridents is going to be hanging out towards the bottom of this Nannies. Every player from the side of Oklahoma Christian has a view into this Nannies, but the thing is, it's more of a pinched view. They're waiting for this player to try and get aggressive here, but really it's Strident's game right now. He can just play slow and wait for the bomb plant to go down, even throws a stun tick to B, does not get anything, so that clearly denies that one.
Yeah, at this point, he's just playing for an audio cue, but look at this long rotation over to B, and he hears him. He's going in for the kill, gonna find Gus in the back. Now, bomb is down, and it's 18 seconds left. Wisdom is able to grab it, but now you're all out of time. You're gonna have to throw it down on B or find the kill on Stridents, and I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh my gosh. He really tried there, but unfortunately, Wisdom he just had the timing wrong.
Oh my God, imagine just getting casually pistoled down right there. I wasn't expecting that.
That's why I gasped. I was like, no way. No way does he lose that timing. That was Strident's game. Like I said, he could have taken that.
Could have taken that indeed, but you got Schlep, who's currently triple positive, turning those first bloods into nice 2 pieces. Now it's tied up 2-2 here in the series. We saw them go round 11 in the first meetup in stage 2. Could we see that again?
Could we possibly indeed? And, you know, I gotta talk about Fazball. I talked about the way his leadership brings to the team. He's been that initiator. He's been trying to get that entry frag, but unfortunately for him, he's just not finding the first bloods. And you see right now, he's even in a forward aggressive position here, but he actually does find the first blood for this time. So that's going to be a good one within our round 5 here, but he does need to stay up. He cannot give away his life to Schlep, who's right up under him.
Yeah, see, but the fun thing is UTA Mavericks, they did have bomb down, but we're going to see Prodigy kind of swoop back and pick it up. You got to win your ones there, and Prodigy finds a nice kill on Wisdom. The issue is that line of sight is going to be called out. You're going to see Bala going into Chow Prodigy. Now, I'm scared that he's going to get pinched right here in the courtyards, and he's going to be able to finesse it, but no, he's just playing with these people at this point as he's kind of lurking towards B.
Oh! Oh my goodness, that is absolutely insane. How do you find Prodigy just laying there like a nice honey baked ham on Thanksgiving?
A honey baked ham on Thanksgiving sounds so good. What I just witnessed was an atrocity. Schlepp is able to grab the bomb, but there's no time remaining.
What?
Going to try and pistol him in the face, but he's gonna get flipped on. He got flipped on, Masuzato. Like, what do? You gotta win your ones. Let's get this from Dez's POV. He's like, hey, excuse me, I'm waking up. Trying to take a pistol to the face, and MP40 answers back. Oklahoma Christian going up in the lead here in Search and Destroy for the first time with a 3-2. Oh my God.
I just don't get it, Tiff. I really don't. Like, how do you pull up to somebody, pistol in their face, bop them, but then don't finish the job? That's just a bit of tough one for me because you just stopped shooting, you know.
I don't know, shoot faster? Shoot faster? Prodigy finds first blood, gonna get traded out by Dez. Schlepp finds Dez, bro. It's just a monumental moment of trades and chaos in the mid-map. Stridens finds Wiz. This is a 3v1 situation. Guz last alive for Oklahoma Christian. I mean, to be fair, you gotta punish them somehow after what just happened last round.
Yeah, you've got to punish them indeed. And, well, it's a 3v1 right now, and Gus does have bombs, so that is one, silver lining they can find. Even sees where Schlepp is towards the back line. Gonna try and shoot him, and he does get the kill. And he even looks towards the top nannies where Stridens is. You're gonna see High Tech hang out towards the back line, re-pick up that situation for his teammate, but there's still 38 seconds. There's plenty of time to get this done.
Plenty of time to get this done, just slow and steady. You've got a 1v2 situation. We're on board with Gus's POV as he makes his way over to that B site. I'm really curious because Stridens could totally play for audio here if he tries to make a long rotation over to A, but I think he's just trying to clear out this B site and make sure he's not going to get completely annihilated moving on to the site. But once they realize that he's not over at A and there's no time remaining, they're going to completely check B here, and that's what I'm nervous about because you're going to have to get the bomb down. Here we go. Now the defensive retake begins. He's able to position himself far enough away from the bomb to play this right.
Indeed, and it looks like, though, he's going to be playing for the back position, which is smart in this scenario, because you don't want to give up too much, but it looks like he's going to get pinched out, though, so he's going to just play the time. This is smart. He's letting them play Ring Around the Rosies, and he's not going to give them anything just yet.
Bro, he's literally trolling, but now they're going to go ahead and start that defuse.
Oh
but he checks it, gets a nice kill on Stridens, and he's really making use of that clock. Now High Tech is in a position where they're just going to have to defuse. The Chow comes out. There's going to be no time remaining, and he's going to get the kill with a pistol. Oklahoma Christian netting some rounds together, going up 4-2.
He just clutched a 1v3, by the way. Gets the bomb down. And so first off, he takes out the player towards the back line. That was Schlepp. Then he waits for the bomb plant to go down, gets it done, and then immediately starts playing Ring Around the Roses with the bomb with these two players. The smartest thing that he could have done there, wait for somebody to hop the bomb. He does it, waits for the 8-second mark, then hops out to see if somebody's there, is able to play the time, and still gets the kill.
I mean, that was so clean. That was so clean. Oklahoma Christian just being absolutely dominating. It's already a 2v3 situation. If you're UTA Mavericks and you're Schlepp, you gotta just make something happen. And unfortunately, Oklahoma Christian is just on another level right now. They're already mentally in the playoffs, and they don't care about anything else.
Yeah, exactly. They're talking to each other like, hey, we've been in this scenario with these boys at UTA. We're not going to play around. Look, those first 2 rounds, we learn, we adjust. Fastball to pick up some kills. Don't throw your life away, and you get it done. Gus picks it up big time, 10-3 on a 6 streak. 1 more kill till that glide bomb. This is just a dangerous scenario for UTA as we head towards the match point.
I mean, one of my notes coming into this for OC Esports literally just says Gus is a demon. boasted a 1.93 search and destroy KD at the beginning. You know, I don't think it encompasses all of this season thus far, but I mean, hey, it's probably higher by now. We look like we had a disconnect, but can OC Esports put this to bed still? It's a 1v2 situation. Hey, Gus is bringing out the information. Even if he can't find a kill, he does have that info. 28 seconds left on the clock. Bomb is still down at B. We've seen this happen before. He finds Prodigy. All he has to do is find High Tech and prevent that defuse from happening.
Oh my goodness, and he does find High Tech off angle. It does not matter that a player disconnected. They check themselves out, and they win that 6-2, 2-0 in the series so far.
That's absolutely disgusting, Susano. Let's go ahead and get a nice look at that. High Tech just watching diligently the bomb site, trying to make sure that he can find any bit of that defuse. But, I mean, when you got Gus going, what is that, like quintuple positive? Let's look at those stats. This is insane.
Yeah, and you look at the stats right now, and you gotta give a big shout out to the man Gus. 14-3, 10 non-traded kills. He was grabbing every first blood for 5 rounds. And then you head over to the side of UTA. Schlep was doing great, 8-6, but unfortunately was not doing too well in terms of the teamwork department. Yeah, his plays were doing good in the back line, but him, Prodigy, Stridents, and High Tech, they just were not meshing in those areas where they needed to get trades. Oklahoma Christian, after those first 2 rounds, realized, hey, we know how close they're playing in proximity. We can get these trades better than they can.
I mean, to get the trades, indeed, usually if Schlep got first blood, he would really couple that with a nice 2-piece. You can see it there in the damage, 1100. The only one to really chow Gus in the terms of damage on UTA Mavericks. But to be fair, they didn't necessarily go super negative, right? You got 4-6, 4-6, 4-6. At that point, it was just Oklahoma Christian played a better game of search and destroy. And by Oklahoma Christian, I mean Gus.
Yeah, Gus went insane. Wisdom was doing pretty good too. The man was going pretty off on the side of Oklahoma Christian, but you know, it's just tough because he lagged out, and unfortunately we did not get the stats to really talk about it at the end, but he was doing a lot of good plays. Fastballer really picked it up. He stopped throwing his life away at the beginning and really asserted himself as that first blood man. He was only able to get, what was it, 2 first bloods? But overall, his initiator role was just a bit overshadowed by Gus's big plays towards the end.
Definitely overshadowed just a little bit, but now that Oklahoma Christian has gone up 2-0 in the series, this is starting to be incredibly reminiscent of what we saw in their first matchup in Stage 2. But, I mean, if you want to answer back UTA Mavericks, now is the time to start that reverse sweep.
Yep, this is the time for UTA to really try to, buckle down and get that reverse sweep going. Or we could possibly see Oklahoma Christian just continue dominantly as they did. And hey, look, hey, Tim, I know we talk about the statistics here, okay? Did I not call a possible 6-2?
I mean, you did. You 100% said Oklahoma Christian is feeling really aggressive. You've seen them before. You know it's going to happen. No round 11 coming here today. It's going to be, you said, either a 6-2 or a 6-3. And that's exactly what you predicted. The 6-2 happened. OG Susano is the prophet here today. However, I did say if UTA Mavericks were able to win the search and destroy, that they could potentially take this series, and they lost. So we know Oklahoma Christian is so dominating on that Gavutu control. And where are we heading next?
We're going to be heading to that Gavutu control. So that'll definitely be a big talking point here. And, talking about like what you said, Tip, unfortunately for the side of UTA, they just weren't able to clutch up in that search and destroy. So, if we're both speaking prophetic, dealings here, then possibly seeing a 3-0 from Oklahoma Christian.
Ooh, I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I wouldn't doubt it. We did see that happen in their first matchup, which would send the UTA Mavericks home and end their Vanguard season, which is really sad when you start thinking about things like that, because someone does have to lose. Not everyone can win. You can't always advance to the playoffs, but the fact that you've made it here, round 3 in the last chance qualifiers, that's pretty great.
That is pretty great indeed. And, well, we're going to take a short break as we get ready for this Gavutu control. Don't you go anywhere. Map 3 coming up soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. An exciting night in the College COD indeed. We've got Oklahoma Christian currently up 2-0 against UTA Maverick. It's been an absolute pleasure being able to bring you the action with Tiff here. Tiff, how you feeling so far about the series?
Hey, I'm feeling really good, but if you're Oklahoma Christian, you're probably feeling a lot better. We have seen so many aggressive plays coming out of them today, and I just don't know if UTA Mavericks are going to be able to put a stop to the Gus bus. I saw it. I seen it. There's a meme right now. Gus bus. I think I'm on it.
Shout out Seymour. Yeah, we love the Gus bus, and but overall, yeah, the man has been going absolutely insane. He's been showing up and doing a lot of the work that's been required for this side of Oklahoma Christian. That S&D, beautiful ace and a 1v3 on attack. Come on. The man's having a great night indeed, and UTA Mavericks right now have been, just playing on an uphill battle, trying to play upstream instead of, going with the flow. So it's been a rough one indeed. It really has.
It has definitely been a rough one, but I mean, look, upsets can happen. UTA can definitely bring this back. They can just start the reverse sweep right now. We saw how aggressive they came out initially in that search and destroy, stringing 2 rounds together. Unfortunately, they weren't able to keep the momentum moving in their favor, but I feel like you're right. This is such a momentum-based game, and once you can really start stringing rounds together, especially in control, the moment you get an offensive victory, that is where the tides will turn. But since we are moving to Gavutu control, and we know Oklahoma Christian is already 3-1 UTA Mavericks in that aspect, this would be the revenge run for UTA, 100%.
Yeah, this really would be the revenge run, and UTA, it would have to be a monumental effort, a Herculean effort, if you will, to just bring it back here from this point on, because the mental at this point, I wouldn't say it's chalk. Every player at the end of the day is trying their hardest to play while under discouragement. Something that I've learned through my coaching endeavors is the best teams are the teams that know how to play while under discouragement. And when you're down 2-0, this is the time to really, buckle down, look at your teammate, tell each other, hey, we have got this. We can do this. If not, then these guys are already checking Twitter. Somebody's looking for what food to eat tonight, and at that point, they're checking themselves out, already getting the thanks at College COD, at Heat, at, Son of Paint, shout out him. Those guys, it's a rough time indeed, but as we get into this Gavutu, I'm still hopeful.
I'm still hopeful indeed. And when you start talking about food like that, I'm just like, oh my God, where is the Thai food? Wonder what my man has got cooking for me tonight. No, I'm just kidding. He's not cooking for me. But we're moving into that Gavutu control. We have Oklahoma Christian on the first round attacking, and I'm really excited to see just what UTA Mavericks are going to bring to the table here. We've got that all-out push to A, and it's just completely wild over there.
Yes, and you see right there, Prodigy unfortunately threw his life out, so that's going to be a bit of a rough one when you come in with a divided effort. But overall, Wisdom's got a great view towards the top gun and towards these players that are trying to move in, and well, they're all coming in rank and file and losing their lives, and Wisdom still stays plentiful with his kills.
Yeah, this is pretty tough, especially when you've got Gus in your back lines, overextending themselves, trying to come in from the flank. You got 2 players that see him out there, but is he going to be able to take him down? Stridence is able to go ahead and make that happen. You've almost capped A. You got 27 lives remaining, and look who's already on B. That's going to be Dez.
Yeah, then this is great, because not only do they chain the hills, they don't give UTA time to breathe. So you're going to immediately hop on this B. Dez is still ticking away. He will lose his life, but they've already grabbed 1 tick. And, talking about what we talked about beforehand, 1 tick is a lot.
1 tick is definitely a lot, and the more you can string together on that second side, even if you don't win the offensive round, will grant you that 5th round on the defense, and that's exactly what you need. But, I mean, if you're Oklahoma Christian, are you even going to let it there? It's 22-12 in the life count. You have just under 2 minutes, 1 tick of progress at B, and you've got Schlep and Prodigy giving it all they have got. You've got player number 7 and 8 trying to hold that back line, really preventing any kind of flank through the mid-map. And now it's kind of a standstill. They're doing everything that they need to at this point to hold off Oklahoma Christian.
Indeed so, and well, Gus going to be moving in through the back lane. Then right now it's 19-8 in terms of lives. They could just play TDM here at this point, but if you want to think about that, round 5, if it's even a possibility for Oklahoma Christian, you're still going to need to hop onto this hill. So Gus is going to get in, get aggressive. Bala was able to clear out the lane, and, well, now you have all the players just actually in a opposite of position, just trying to hold them off.
Yeah, but they're going to fall. Prodigy and High Tech are going to find 2 really important kills as you got Schlep in the back line trying to redact any progress that Oklahoma Christian made. They are putting in a very valiant effort. They only have 5 lives remaining, which means they're going to need to run a 2 KD at this point. And as I say that, no respawns left for UTA Mavericks. This is it. Your last stand. You got to be perfect.
Yep, you got to be perfect indeed. 13-4 in lives. No more respawns. This is the time to show up or just shut down. And you're going to already see Bala moving into the back line. Strident's nicely done, clears him out. Gus is going to be playing towards the middle. Gun even sees Prodigy. They're going to be playing adjacent of each other, but he loses his life either way. Wisdom will throw himself off the map, unfortunately, so Strident's going to be able to take advantage of that. It's a 9-3 in terms of lives, 20 seconds left. This could be a possible defensive win.
This might be a defensive win. You just got to play the clock and keep your lives remaining. Strident finds a 2-piece. Still 3 lives, 12 seconds. Let's go. They can do this. You see a nice 2-push coming in from Oklahoma Christian. High Tech going to cut it down. High Tech finds another. Can they hold on for another 3 seconds? They just have to touch. But this is it. Strident is able to make it happen for the UTA Mavericks. Let's go.
That is absolutely insane. I think at that point, you just got overzealous with your kills. Oklahoma Christian should have taken that back, reel in the egos. Hey, let's get on this hill. Let's do something with it. But instead, they allow Stridents to go crazy in that back lane and just go insane. He had, I believe, 4 kills right there on a streak. He was just yanking them back and forth like a bow, just pulling and shooting each one.
That was absolutely insane for UTA Mavericks, and I'm really happy for them to be able to kick it off in a win. We know that was really tough, and defensive is usually pretty much easier, but the fact that they were able to hold back Oklahoma Christian in that moment, let's see if they can string some momentum here together as we're trying their hand on the offensive. Currently, the kill feed lighting up pretty white there for me, and they're already trying to string some progress over at 8, but the red coming in like blood in the water, like sharks. This is gonna get crazy.
Oh, it is indeed, and Schlepp's going to be the one player to try and hold back this offensive movement from the side of Oklahoma Christian. He does pretty good, takes out Dez, but you're going to see Bala and Gus go in crazy from the mid, and Prodigy's going to get taken down from the site. The progress at A going to be refuted. Now all the players are going to spawn up towards deep, and you have a big problem because Gus is going to get aggressive with you.
Gonna get aggressive with you indeed, but I mean, no real progress remains here. Kills and lives remaining, pretty tied up, 30 seconds remaining, but oh, they're gonna get shot out on time. There's less than 30 seconds and you don't have a sight and you're not even on us. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a nice 3 down, and there's only 17 seconds left, and Oklahoma Christian don't even allow UTA to grab 1 tick of progress. Stridents is going to have to pull up again and be that hero in this instance. Wisdom going to be able to get some big kills towards the back. Prodigy now the last hope, just holding down, praying for his teammates to get there in time, but it's 19-15, and this A tick is going to be guaranteed.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. The time is still ticking down. 3 seconds remaining. And as I said that, I was 0.3 seconds. Oklahoma Christian going to go ahead and net the win to tie it up 1-1.
Yep, 1-1. And that was a really rough first round. I'm not going to lie, Tips. They really should have won that one. But Oklahoma Christian just got overzealous in the kills. And you see right here, instead of getting overzealous with them, they just played to their strengths. They played the setup. They played with the ARs, watching the lanes, and did not send anybody to go into the spawn and break their own setup line.
Hey, you got to break the setup line. You got to try and do your best. But here, now that we're tied up, if we're only going to net some defensive wins, we're going to need to see someone turn it around and get an offensive win. And Oklahoma Christian was really close to doing that their first round. Let's see if they can answer back and really net it.
Yeah, we'll have to see, and it looks as though they're going to be going for this B right off the bat. A great change of strategy indeed. They're going to be 1 player on it. That's going to be Dez, and, well, every player from the side of Oklahoma Christian besides Bala is going to get aggressive and move forward. So they have this nice line that's just having 2 players, just 2 twin tanks just watching those spawns.
Hey, that's what you got to do. But look at it. It's all in the back line. It's getting really contention heavy. And you see who's going to come out on top. That's going to be UTA Mavericks. Sure, they're slightly down in the lives remaining, but that doesn't really matter. We saw just how much they came in clutch right there. But Oklahoma Christian going to go ahead and have 2 ticks at B. Usually B is the last one captured, but they were able to net 2 ticks prior to jumping on over to A.
Yeah, and Wisdom's still going to be in this top position. So this is great because now you have a 2-stack towards A. They're going to get aggressive with it a bit. Ball is going to move forward, and they will be able to acquire a good amount of progress. Ball even clears out B. So now if you can just hope to, stop Schlepp in his place, you can grab B simultaneously.
Hey, this is exactly what they're trying to do. They want that offensive win and to bring it to 2-1. Look at the ticks on A, though. They're going backwards. You just need to be able to clear it out, and they do. The kill feed going red, and it's getting crazy over at A now for some uncontested time. You've got Dez and Bala moving backwards in the line behind UTA Mavericks. Gonna try to come up. Here we go. Bala finds 1. Can he get 2? He does. That makes it so easy as they clear out B, and you've got High Tech and Stridents just trying to keep it alive over there.
I like how Bola immediately chowed the spawn, and there's just 3 players just watching him down the barrel, waiting to kill him. So that was a bit of a funny one. But, what's not funny for the side of UTA is that B is getting progressed, and they're already getting closer and closer to this offensive win. No players are going to be able to spawn back up within time. So Oklahoma Christian, they take the offensive in a nice fashion.
I feel like once you net that offensive win, you put yourself in win condition. Let's see this kills from Bala right here. Sheesh. Very, very clean. Nice 17 and 14. But to be fair, this is all they need to do is net in a defensive win here. Take the round. That gives them the control win and the series victory here tonight. So UTA Mavericks is going to have to really be perfect. I keep saying that, but it just keeps coming back to that moment where you need to be flawless.
Yep, you need to be flawless indeed, and there's a minute 22, so this could be the fastest round for Oklahoma Christian if they could just get aggressive here. Fastball is going to be able to get some help from Gus, and they clean out the players. So that's a 3 down, only 1 is left, and well, it's going to be Schlepp. Schlepp's going to be able to hop onto this B4 now, but as I say that, he's getting some big shots in from Dez. Dez throws the nade, and it looks as though he's not going to be able to take him out, but what a nice turnaround from Wisdom there. 20 and 10 on a 5 streak. He's going to be eligible for streaks here pretty soon.
I mean, not him just going completely double positive. You're right. He's 1 away from starting out those streaks, but he's completely stunned. Doesn't matter, though. And as I say that, Prodigy able to take down the Giant. And now, this is where everything is going. The kill feed is still not in favor of UTA Mavericks. They don't have any ticks of progression. You got Oklahoma Christian overextending themselves and spawn trapping UTA Mavericks. This is not looking good.
This is not looking good indeed, and it's a 2-1 right now, and 26-15 in terms of the lives. Gus is going to hang out towards the back, does some big damage, looks for a second, does grab it, but Prodigy will turn back to stop the bleeding. Dez picks up the work for his fallen teammate, and well, all these players from UTA Mavericks are just trying to stay alive, get out of this coastline, much like some newborn sea turtles.
Yeah, but Oklahoma Christian is doing everything that they need to do. There's only 11 seconds remaining. Dez even calling in the kill streaks to find Schlepp. They don't know what is happening. They just need to touch a site in 3 seconds remaining. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Oklahoma Christian incredibly dominating here tonight.
Very dominant indeed, Oklahoma Christian. Very nicely done. The offensive pushes were absolutely amazing. There was a bit of oversight in that first round. I'm not going to lie, Tiff. They got a little, egregious and got overzealous with their kills. But we look at the stats right now. Oh my goodness. Each player from the side of Oklahoma Christian popped off. They did amazingly well. They showed up. They gave that 3-0 to UTA Mavericks. And looking at the stats again, Gus 29 and 14, insane looks out of the man. Wisdom 23 and 11. The ARs, like we talked about in the game here as we were talking, they just came in, they showed up. They really came in, clocked in, and did their work.
Yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely insane. 29 and 14, 23 and 11, all of the damage equally spread out between all of Oklahoma Christian. They just completely came in tonight, knew what they had to do and did it. This is exactly what we saw the first time Oklahoma Christian and UTA Mavericks met up in stage 2. It was a 3-0 in favor of Oklahoma Christian. So history has just repeated itself.
Yep, history repeats indeed. And well, it was in a crazy night here in the College COD. There was a lot of great action. You know, we had our Tuscan for our map 1, which was 250 to 114. Oklahoma Christian came out the gate strongly and dominantly took that one. Then we went over to Bocage, where it was a 6-2, and you know, it was a bit of a rough one right at the first 2 rounds, but then Gavitu, it was a very dominant ending. Oklahoma Christian will continue on into the playoffs. Unfortunately, UTA Mavericks will be going home and will not be continuing their season within Vanguard with us here at the College COD.
Yeah, but for OC Esports, this is where your journey is only getting tougher as you are looking at the playoffs now. You're in a group with the Redbirds and LA Tech. We know this is going to be a wild journey, and I can't wait to see how your aggressive nature matches up against those in your playoffs group.
Yeah, the aggressive nature is really going to be a big factor because, you know, once they get into those groups, this is going to be the creme de la creme, if you will, that are going to be playing perfect Call of Duty, that are going to really show up and show off what they know, what they're going to do, and how they play the game. So, you know, sometimes the aggression could be, you know, either a tempered steel sword, or it could just be that tempered iron piece that has yet to be forged. But from what we saw from Oklahoma Christian tonight, they definitely were a lot more formed.
100% they were formed, Susano. It was insane. They did exactly what they needed to do, and they even did it better than the first matchup when they met UTA Mavericks. They went to a round 11 on Search and Destroy the first time. You're right, you predicted a 6-2, and that's exactly what they did. So congratulations to all the players who came out swinging tonight. They are moving on. This is exciting, but don't worry, guys. There is more action to come. Susano, this was it for us. This is it for the last chance qualifiers for us, and I am sad.
Yeah, this is the end of our time here on the broadcast. For now, you will be seeing a new pair of casters hop in. It's going to be Seymour, I believe, in Cruz. So don't you guys go anywhere. They're going to be here ready to give you that third matchup. But, you know, me and Tiff will still be around. You might see us here in the playoffs. You might not. But just to say, you know, closing remarks, if this is our last appearance, it's been an absolute pleasure being here with you, Tiff. You know, our time here in the College COD has been nothing less than the best.
Completely agree. And good luck to all the players here tonight. I wish you guys the best, and stay tuned.
See you soon.